So the first question comes from Mallikarjuna K, who seeks clarification on the position of duality in Advaita. In Nirvana Shatakam, Shankara takes an uncompromising, non-dualist position by saying there is no self, no God, no guru, etc., which seems to treat these ideas only as practical but ultimately unreal concessions, whereas Sri Ramakrishna's Vijnana seems to accord equal ontological reality to both immanence and transcendence, without treating either of them as the ultimate. Swamiji, would you please explain which position is the true Advaita?
All right, this is a difficult one, very philosophical, deals with the very nature of existence, of non-duality. So, first of all, Shankara does not deny that there is a self. In fact, Shankara says there is only the self. If you noted the question, ultimately there is no self, no guru. True, no guru, none of the persons, things in this world, only the non-dual Atman. But Atman means the self. So the self is the only reality which exists, the capital S self, and it's non-dual. Now, equal ontological reality to immanence and transcendence. So immanence and transcendence, what it would mean would be, beyond this world, there exists this reality. Call it God, Brahman, whatever it is. So it transcends time, space, causation. It transcends our perceptions of the senses. It transcends this material world. So in that sense, transcendental. It's beyond all this. Religion defines God, at the very least, as transcendental, beyond this universe. And immanent would be in and through this universe also. So what is this universe? If it's transcendent, the ultimate reality is beyond this universe, and this universe is something separate from that. But in Vedanta, Swami Vivekananda said, we Hindus worship a transcendent, immanent God. Transcendent means beyond this universe, beyond time, space, causation, beyond humanity, beyond limitation, infinite. But also immanent, here, in and through everything. So this universe is not a separate reality apart from God. That would be a monstrosity, actually. Why? That would mean that the universe, the world, is a godless place. And God is a limited being. Why limited? Because if it's something apart from the universe, then God is a limit. Where does God stop? Where the universe begins. So there are two realities, God and the universe. The universe is limited, we all know. But then you make this terrible mistake of making God limited. That there is something apart from God. All right. And this is a very simplistic way of putting it. Theologians have multiple ways of getting around this. But if you say, no, this universe is not apart from God. God is here in this universe too, as well as being transcendent. God, let's use the Advaitic word Brahman. Brahman means the ultimate reality. Literally it means the vast. Vast is equal to infinite. Infinite means not limited. So it's right here in this universe also. So how is Brahman here in this universe? As immanent, as constituting the inner reality, the inner, you can call it the ontological reality or spiritual reality, whatever, of this universe. Now notice, even these words, transcendent, immanent, they all are from the perspective of the universe. Assuming there is a universe, now this spiritual reality, this non-dual Brahman you're talking about, is it beyond this universe? Yes, so it's transcendent. Is it in and through this universe? Yes, then it's immanent. But you're already assuming that there is a universe. And in the non-dual position, actually there is no universe. Even these questions of transcendence and immanence have an element of ignorance to them. It's like in a dream. So we're suddenly told it's the dreaming mind which is dreaming up this entire universe. In the dream universe. Now if I ask that, so where is this dreamer? Is he part of this universe, somewhere around this? No, he's beyond this. The dreamer is dreaming, and now we have a dream. But not only beyond this, the dreamer is also immanent in the dream. In everything that you are dreaming, everything that you see in the dream, everybody, every experience, the dreamer is there because it's the dreamer alone who's appearing as this dream, the dreamer's mind. So the dreamer both transcends the dream and is immanent in the dream. But if the dream is not a reality at all, in that case, transcends what and is immanent in what? It's the dreamer alone who is real, not the dream. Now, if somebody says, does one give equal ontological importance to transcendence and immanence? Brahman is beyond everything, that's real. Brahman is in and through everything, that's real. No, that is not the non-dual position. Any kind of non-duality will have this one crucial thing which they will not compromise. There cannot be any other ontological reality apart from Brahman. That's the meaning of non-duality. Not two. Not two. Existence, consciousness, bliss is the only reality. Take existence for example. Existence itself is the only reality. There cannot be anything other than existence. Literally, tautologically, if you say there is something other than existence, what would it be? Not existence. Well, not existence does not exist anyway, so. Now, existence alone exists. Almost by definition. So, Brahman alone exists. There is no 50-50 sharing of, Brahman has some reality and the world has some reality, then it's not non-duality. However, even within this strict definition of Brahman as the non-dual reality, no compromise with, no sharing of existence. Brahman alone exists. Then there's no second existence equal to Brahman apart from that. Even within this, there is enough ground to play around. Philosophically, metaphysically. How? One can take the extreme position, say Gaudapada, Ajatavada. There is no universe which has ever originated. Not very difficult to understand. And how can you say there is no universe? You're in the middle of a universe. You're experiencing all this. How can you say there is no universe? Well, you can. Strictly speaking, even when you see a dream, when you see a movie, when you read a book of fiction. So in a dream, I see people and good and bad things are happening. I see the sky and the earth and I can see myself in the dream. But if you ask strictly speaking, when you wake up, when you know it was a dream, did you really see a sky? Your eyes were closed. How could you see a sky? Did you really see other people? Well, go and ask them that I saw you last night in the dream. They'll think you're crazy. No, you must admit to yourself that you did not see a sky and an earth. You did not see a people. You did not see even your own body there. From the waking perspective, the whole thing was imagination. That's why we call it a dream. So strictly speaking, there were no other entities there in the dream, except you, the dreamer. But you imagined it all. There was only one, the dreaming mind. But you imagined and experienced a dream, a plurality of entities and experiences. So from a strict ontological perspective, ontological means being, existence, what really is. From an ontological perspective, there is only one. There is no universe, no variety, no second. Gaudapada is right. There is no universe apart from Brahman, other than Brahman. But then we can say, how about the experience itself? In the one dreaming mind, we experienced, I admit there was no second thing there, but we experienced a duality. We experienced people, happenings, pleasant, unpleasant. I have memories of my dream. I can talk to my therapist about my dreams extensively. Knowing, he knows it's a dream, I know it's a dream, but we can talk about it. We have, New York Times writes columns and columns about, novels and fiction and literary criticism about things we all know is fiction. We can. Then go and watch a movie and such a variety is experienced. So, fiction appearance is a category which is well understood. And in Advaita Vedanta also, you can give importance to this appearance and then talk about it and take it seriously as an appearance. So that's the second level. Instead of saying that no universe at all, you can say universe is there as an appearance. It's a lower level of reality. Brahman is the really real thing, and the universe is not really real. It's like a fiction. It's like a dream. It's like the snake in the rope, and that's the second level. There's the third level of taking the universe seriously, where at the level of the appearance, you take it to that extent, you take it seriously, because you are part of the appearance in this body and mind. You play the game, you go along with it. Like an actor in a Broadway play. In the middle of the play, he suddenly thinks, what am I doing? It's a stage, everybody's pretending. There is no Lion King, there is no baby lion, there is no evil lion. It's all just make-believe. Well, I won't tell my lines, or I'll make up new lines as I go along, or I'll do whatever I like. No, then you will ruin the play and get fired too. So you go along with the play and you do a good job, then you're a good actor, knowing full well that it's a play. Now, if you take it seriously, that's yet another level of reality. So, which one will you do? The Gaudapada, the first level, where you do not give any importance at all to this appearance, and you stick to the fact that it's one existence, consciousness, bliss, and I am that. You can do that. That is called Ajatavada, the theory of non-origination. In Advaita Vedanta, Shankaracharya's guru's guru, Gaudapada Acharya, in the Mandukya Karika, he held on to this very strictly. In some forms of Dzogchen Buddhism also, it's like a magical display. There is only the Buddha nature. There's only existence, consciousness, bliss. That's one. Second is it's a dream. Oh, it's magnificent. It's a play. It's a movie. Enjoy it. Enjoy the happiness. Enjoy the sorrow. It's a delight. Pleasure, pain, samsara, all of it is like a display, like a dream. And the third one is, no, not only enjoy it, engage with it. With full knowledge of your freedom, with full knowledge that you are Brahman. Like Shankaracharya says, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. So there are three categories of enlightened beings. This I am drawing from an essay by Swami Gambhirananda. He was the 11th president of our order. So there he says, the enlightened person, and he draws from an example, a parable given by Sri Ramakrishna. What are enlightened people like? So he says, there were three friends who are walking along, there's a high wall, and at one point they became curious. What's beyond? What transcends this? So with great difficulty, one of them climbed up on top of the wall, and he looked beyond, and he shouted in delight, and he jumped on the other side, and disappeared. And these two were left looking at each other, what was that? And they became even more curious. What was that? So the second person climbs up. He dances in delight and jumps on the other side. Now the third person, with great difficulty, climbs over. What's going on here? And he sees this, Sri Ramakrishna says, a mart of joy, a festival. In India, you have to think about what's called a mela. In villages, suddenly magic comes to your drab little village. There is a festival, there are shops, there are jugglers, it's a lot of fun. But it comes and goes. So it is there, it has come. And he sees this. And it's such fun. He too he shouts in joy, he wants to jump over. Then he thought, what about the poor people back there? Who will tell them? And who will show them this? Here is the solution to all the sorrows of life. Here is so much joy, fulfillment, freedom. So he does not jump over. He turns around and comes back into our tired little world to tell us this, the good news. Now, Gambhiranji says there are three kinds of enlightened beings. There are those who discover the truth. They are enlightened. They realize this infinite existence, consciousness, bliss, like Shankaracharya sings, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am bliss, I am consciousness, unlimited bliss and consciousness, I am Shiva, I am Shiva. They see that, actually. And they want to remain absorbed in that. Why? Because Gaudapada has taught us. What else is there? That's the only thing that's there. If you're strictly logical, that's the only thing that is there. And stay there. So So they might remain absorbed in samadhi and soon give up this body also. So they are the ones who jump over that wall and disappear. Then there's the second kind of enlightened being. It says, those who see this world, they realize I am Brahman, but they see this world as a dream, as a magic show, as an illusion, and what fun it is. Sri Ramakrishna talks about the monk who came, enlightened being, childlike. It gives a very beautiful description. He was dressed in rags and he had such a pure childlike face and always in joy and smiling. He would stay most of the time in his little hut in meditation, but once in a while he would come out and look at the sky, the river, the Ganga, where Sri Ramakrishna lived, the temple and the trees, and shout with joy, bravo, bravo. He would say, wah, wah. Why? Here is this one pure subject appearing as the objective universe. Here is this eternal existence consciousness bliss appearing as a continuously changing samsara. Here is this pure being appearing as sky and earth and river. Here is this unlimited consciousness appearing as a myriad of conscious entities. Here is bliss appearing as misery, sorrow, the pursuit of pleasure. What a wonderful display. Amazing. And so he shouts in delight. He would sometimes, Sri Ramakrishna says, this monk would roll on the sand. He couldn't control his laughter. What fun, what fun. And then he would go back into the hut. He didn't go out and, he acknowledged it, that he sees it. But he didn't go out and, open schools and colleges and a hospital and give people teachings about Vedanta. He didn't. Because it's not real to him, it's a display. And then there's the third one, Swami Gambhirananda writes, third kind of enlightened one, who's the one who came down from the high wall and came back to us, is the one whose heart melts in sympathy for our sorrows. So he takes this appearance seriously and reacts to it appropriately. These are the world teachers. They are the reason why we are here today. By all temples, churches, meditation halls, and all the scriptures of the world. Why do they exist? Because of that third category. And of course, there we make hierarchy. We make hierarchies. Some are Jivan Muktas, enlightened beings, free while living. Some are avatars. But these are our categories. All right, so that's my answer to the question. Sri Ramakrishna in the spectrum, where would he fall? So in the spectrum, where would he fall? It sounds like what is that, DSM or something? The mental illness, the spectrum of mental illness. In which part would Sri Ramakrishna fall? Well, he would fall on this part of taking this world seriously. So he takes this seriously. And so do we, Vivekananda and others. So not only to teach and share, but also not just spiritual knowledge, but all of it. Once you have this helpful mode, you would want to help in every possible way. Not just give Vedantic or teachings, but also schools for the unlearned and illiterate, or hospitals to take care of the sick, the hungry, and the poor, and so on. So your helpfulness does not stop here. Well, this is not Vedanta, it's outside the syllabus. You can go elsewhere. No. Yeah, so that's the answer.